Hi, Muchísimo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. I want to talk to you guys about 10 things that Empath's Chosen Ones, this is for you specifically, 10 things that I believe will aid in our both healing, recovery, and elevation of our vibration. And I got about 6 things here that we can start implementing in our lives, not as a substitute, but as alternatives to the things that we seem to, you know, seem to not be able to get away from because they're habit forming or we just like them, and myself included. And this is no judgment or anything, just some thoughts I had, and I want to share them with you guys because only God can judge you. But do give this some attention as best you can. First one is zombie movies. Uh, I had met a girl one time. I was trying to get to know, and I'll never forget it. And when you start asking people, "What do you like? What do you would like to watch on TV?" Well, she asked me, and I was like, "I don't really watch TV." And this was some time ago, and I said, "I don't watch TV. I just kind of watch YouTube." And when I do watch TV, it's sort of like informative, educational. I meant to say, and constructive, and biographies and stuff like that. And I said, that's just the only thing that seems to hold my attention. I said, but however, I'm open to a few other things here and there, but I don't make a habit out of them. And so she said she liked to watch zombie movie, and she said she emphasized, I like to see the killing. I like to see the killing. And I wasn't too critical. I didn't go in and ask her, what do you like about killing? I kind of tried to put myself in her position because I have watched Zombie Apocalypse, and I found myself sitting there just watching this repetitive, these people moving around. And what gets us is when they change from one uh, frame to another. If you watch movies, especially if there's an intense uh, undertaking like thrillers, horror movies, they always change the the frames. It's so what this does to your psyche, um, the lights, not so not that I know the technical term, but it gives off of these. It's dopamine hits. To be honest with you, it's dopamine hits, but your eyes are taking in all of these frames when they do this because it gets your juices going. You're trying to watch all of your eyes is moving a million miles an hour, and so that does something to you up here, and it's fascinating to some degree, I guess, in a weird way to some of us. But as we're healing as empaths and chosen ones, we really need to get away from this type of stuff because, and I kind of chimed back in when she said she liked to kill, and I said, well, you see zombie movies in the community every day. People walking around just like zombie apocalypse, and she was like, LOL, laughed my blinkety blink off, and I was like, and we kind of, the conversations just went to other stuff. And this was post awakening. So when we talk like this, as awakened empath, when you're talking to people and trying to semi not so much dissuade them from doing what they're doing, you're of a different type of mindset. So we don't connect with people who are still in that same old mindset. But there are, however, us empaths and chosen ones that are even awakened that, like I said, it's a habit forming thing. And for some reason or another, some of us like these type of movies. And I would encourage you to try to cease and desist because it is not beneficial to your healing. It is really like nonsense, to be honest with you. And violent movies in general, where there's murdering, that's number two. ER movies where there's trauma and all of this suspense, where people are coding and dying on the table, and you see the surgeon or the nurse where they're seemingly very empathic and sympathetic, and the emotions of crying and all of this stuff. And what I believe we are seeing is, and actually we are seeing it, This is acting. And this is exactly what the narcissist does to get us in their fangs, to get us under their fangs. So we need to really, really ask ourselves, do I need to see all this dramatization? I see horror and I see disaster. I see hurt in the real world. How do I react to it in the real world if I'm continuing to look at it dramatized? You see where I'm going with that? And again, it's just encouragement, guys. Don't take it too personal. Surgery series like Chopped, where this plastic surgery is being done. People are doing all this augmentation. You women, and especially, I know a lot of you women are very conscious or self-conscious of your looks and appearance. Don't let it go to your head and start playing games in your head to where you become so dissatisfied with the way you look. You allow these type of series here to further cause you to uh, further convince you into making these critical decisions and doing something drastically as far as surgery go. I would encourage you to try to do things in a very practical, non-invasive way, like walking, gym membership, cardio, changing the way you eat, and everything like that. And so, try that first. And if it's for health reasons, for quality of life, that again, that has to be something that you truly believe that is the reason. Even though a doctor may say it, you need to truly get like second opinions, third opinions before you ultimately do that, because that's a life changing event. And once you do it, you can't undo it. And I've known women that are not satisfied with what has happened after the fact. They kind of wish they didn't do it. Not all, but some. So really think it through. And disrespectful rap battles shows like the ones. And it used to be rap battles like LL Cool J and different people like that. And it was wordology in so many ways that it wasn't as tense and derogatory and just hateful. But like I know, some of these battle rap shows are very intensely disrespectful, and to the point where you can't tell the difference of whether that is really just acting or is it real, because on the street we do hear people talk like this towards one another, and it's just not good for the health, welfare, and the whole harmony of society. These shows, but they are getting the views, and you're empaths or chosen ones, or you shouldn't even want to sign on to this kind of stuff, because we don't move like that. We don't move like that. Don't endorse this stuff any longer. Uh, and I like rap myself. It's an artistry. It's a poetic artistry, but sometimes these words make the whole undertaking, not so appealing. Mainstream news, obviously, you don't know what you're going to get with that, because it's just opinions of the powers that be, and a lot of time they're very skewed. Caddy shows like Housewives and different things like that. This is especially for you women. If you want to raise your vibration, empath chosen one specifically, that's who I'm talking to. You women who've gone through so much atrocious relationship situations where you've seen this in living true color. You've gone through this, in the real. You shouldn't want to rehash this by way of dramatizations and other people going through it. You shouldn't have to see that and be entertained by that. You're trying to kind of get distance from that type of mentality, because the more you raise your vibration, you're going to attract people of that same vibration, as well as the narcissist. We know that, but the difference is you'll be able to determine whether that energy matches yours, especially if you're awake in a healthy way. Shows of infidelity like Cheaters. I've watched that type of stuff, and again, I'm guilty of a lot of this stuff in times past too. But I don't know last time I watched this type of stuff, because it does not appeal to me anymore. Especially as I've awakened and I see this stuff happening by way of narcissists. They are all of this that I just named, and I got two more to go. social media lurking into the hot gossips, empaths, chosen ones. We are curious as a human nature thing. We shouldn't be that curious anymore. It's just a waste of our time. It's a waste of our energy and resources that we could be using to educate ourselves on these demons that are always are plotting to destroy us. That's what we should really channel our energies into. Um, Number 10, shows on vanity and vain things like celebrity houses and cars. I used to watch Cribs and all that stuff. Again, this stuff is very interesting in the sense that how we approach it. There's probably something to be learned from all of these 10 things I just said. But how much do you have to watch to know enough about these things that to the point where you can disengage? You have to watch series after series after series. I think it can be debilitating for your healing, is the why I'm pointing this out. Now, as opposed to those things that I don't believe that are going to be beneficial to us, I have 6 things that I believe that you can implement in your life as you're healing and trying to raise your vibration. Uh, Number 1, practical wellness and fitness outlets and shows like that. You know, nothing's wrong with that. You know, you can see people that gives you motivation and stimulates you to get up and get moving and to implement some of those things into your own life. You can do those from the comforts of your home. Uh, Number 1 was MPD informative outlets. And obviously, the type of stuff we're doing here, you can't go wrong with that. You can never know enough about narcissists. I mean, you can get a little bit overloaded with that too, and I'll go down and I'll show you where there's antidotes to that. Number 2 was practical wellness and fitness outlets. Number 3 was spiritually informative outlets such as the Bible and different things, the Bible teachings and prayer. You can read different manuscripts on prayer, how to pray if you don't know how to pray. Uh, you know, this is notwithstanding any specific religion. I'm Christian, but whatever you are choosing to do, if it's anything that is outside of you and it's God, dwell on that and draw for that. Learn to draw for that. Learn to draw the power and the strength and determination from that. Because self-sufficiency is a big letdown. We are not as good as we think we are. And we are not the reason for the season. That's for sure. Number 4, food and diet material in very simple forms. Don't get too dogmatic about any of this stuff because depending on how much manuscript you get, it can be confusing. One will say this and another will say that, and you'll become very conflicted. But just read about cholesterol, fatty foods and stuff like that. How to just burn carbohydrates. Look at your intake of sugars, salt, and different things like that. You know, especially if you are struggling with stress and hypertension and different things like that. And even if you're not, just kind of that all aids in lessening your hypertension and your stress levels. Caffeine, such as Dr. Pepper's, so I'm talking to me too. Number 5, consistent times of a long time to recharge. And we all know in Empaths and Chosen Ones, man, we give off a lot of energy. And me, I'm resting like nobody's business nowadays. Just doing this video or any of the videos I do, I'm a lot of times I'm exhausted. And I have to be honest and be the first to say that. It is exhausting because me, myself, speaking of me as an empath, I bring a certain level of thought process to some of these videos. And I try to do it with all of them. And sometimes when I start out with this intensity, as I begin to start talking in videos, it's just the enemy is trying to distract and take away that energetic approach. And I get in my feelings of sort, of empathy, and that's what drains us. But it doesn't deter us. So that's not to be misunderstood. So it's just innate to who we are. We're gonna continue to press forward. So let me see. Consistent time is a long time. And number six, final one, is shows of gratitude and generosity. Um, Ones that are not over the top or prop faked. You know, we got a lot of shows that are, you know, centered on giving, random acts of kindness. Uh, I won't say that because they are staged or whatever that they don't have meaning. But what I'm trying to say, draw off of show or not shows, draw off of testimonies or just things that have happened in real time that were not so much orchestrated, and read about people's stories that of tragedy to triumph. That is really something that can help you rethink and come to a point of gratitude and just being thankful for what you have. Even though we've lost a lot, just the gratitude going forward, it will allow God to be able to do some things in your life, because gratitude gives you an attitude of not being bitter but trying to become better, if that makes any sense. So guys, I hope this is helpful to you guys, and I hope you will apply some, if not all, of the things that I just mentioned. That being said, bless.